I'm not quite sure what happened there, but
I don't know, mate. No, it's not. It wasn't you, mate. Our stream just seems to have jumped out of sync. So
it just said initializing.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened to that. So
it's done now anyway.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I can't disagree with anything that you've said. The only thing for me, having looked at all that, is the fact that when I look at our
2 seconds, guys, because according to me, we're ending the broadcast in 36 seconds.
Oh yeah, no, it seems to have reset itself. I don't know what's happened.
Yeah, like a new stream.
It's a new stream all of a sudden. I don't know what's happened. I haven't touched anything because I've just looked at YouTube and our stream is just off.
Yeah,
I don't know what's happened.
We've lost all the comments, but we've got some new comments.
Yeah. So I don't know what's happened. We're gonna have to wait because everybody's now having to jump on this new stream. But anyway, let's go to Dom because obviously we've just listened to what Dom was saying. Dom, I'm not going to disagree with you, but for me, when you spend £80 million on 2 players, I want both players to be testing the 11 because we've still inherited a lot of Steve Bruce players that for me aren't of value. And when you've got one of those players that are on the bench, you have to seriously question whether the team or the player was the correct player to pick in the first place. Because if he's not starting every week in, week out, there has to be some questioning on if he's good enough for one. Now, I know you said he's top goal scorer as of yet. We all know he can shoot from distance. Now, Harvey Barnes says, I don't live far away from Leicester, and I've got a lad who was a Leicester City season ticket holder. And he will, I'd love to have him on the show. He clapped his hand when we paid 40 million for this lad because he said it was 40 million that he wouldn't spend on the player.
I fully agree with you. Even when we signed Barnes, I wasn't a massive fan of the signing. I think he's a player that a bit of a luxury comparison. He reminds me of a.
You've got to bear in mind when we're actually signing, we're signing Gordon for the right wing, and Harvey Barnes was on the left wing. But then Barnes got injured. Gordon went on the left wing and did fantastic, player of the season. So then you say, do you change it when you come back? But then we still relied on Miggy and Murphy on the right wing, who, haven't been good enough for a long time. So how we've never signed a right winger since Bruce
days, yeah, exactly.
Since Miggy, essentially. And again, Miggy wasn't even signed to be a right winger.
Attacking midfielder, that was
signed by Rafa. Yeah. That's how long ago it was. Rafa signed up right wingers.
Right wingers, that's right. Yeah, that's bad, isn't it? It's shocking.
With Barnes is he's like a winger version. You know when we had Kevin Nolan and Andy Carroll playing together.
Carroll, Nolan,
He wouldn't really give you assists. He would literally just be there to tap the ball in from knockdowns. That's what Barnes is. He scores goals, but apart from that, he doesn't offer you anything. So the issue is when we're playing against all these low blocks, if he can't cut in and have a pot shot, it's not like he's going to skin past 3 players and then put a cross and a put in the top corner. He's not like a Maxim or someone like that.
I agree.
I just didn't understand the Barnes signing at all. And he's not a bad player. And the reason I'm saying he should be playing is that Joe Linton shouldn't be on the right side. So I'd rather still have Barnes and Gordon on the right.
Yeah.
Rather than.
But that's the thing, isn't it? What you've just said there, Dom. When you've got the likes of J7 taking your spot, who's not a natural. I mean, everybody says that he's a natural winger when he joined us. He has got a little bit of technical ability, but again, he's not the type of player that will skin a player. He won't go past a player.
And
he won't beat them with him. And he certainly hasn't got the pace to beat them.
That's why that was a number 10.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I said. For me, as much of a hassle that he is, slot him in front of their back line and just behind the midfield, and he'll cause hassle. And you can play off that. And like I said, I'm not going to disagree with you. I for me, if you spent all that money, then you've got to be questioning why he isn't in the team.
And that's what Paul Mitchell said, isn't it, when he came in, that the transfer policy has been totally wrong.
Yeah,
We've got
absolutely.
multi 20, 30 million pound players sitting on the bench, and we're not in a position to do that yet.
Well, we're nowhere near that. You know, when you look at Tonali and Barnes on the bench, you know, you've got £80 million worth of talent on the bench watching a game. You're watching a team struggling. Now, there's definitely something wrong when you've got a situation like that. Dom, is there anything else that you want to add before we move on to Strasbourg, Steve?
I think appreciate everything Eddie Howe's done. I think he was a breath of fresh air after Steve Bruce came in. Completely changed how we played football. But I think he's been found out, and I think he was found out about 18 months ago. Ever since that Brighton game where they absolutely whooped us away from home, we made Solly March look Messi. I think it's just got poor since then. I think it is time for a change, but it's just me.
Yeah, no, good chat, buddy. Welcome. I'll say, haven't seen you before, Dom. Thank you ever so much for coming on and sharing your thoughts, my friend. Please, back again. We love to hear your views all the time. Like I say, it's a show for the family. It's a show for the viewer. It's a show for the fans. So thanks ever so much for your views, my friend, and take care for the future. Cheers, buddy. Right, Stevie, give us your thoughts on where we are and what you thought of the game.
Look, all right. I'm gonna just start this off with a metaphor, right? If you guys get cold weather up in Newcastle, icy. Have you ever been stuck on a hill in your car and you can't get up the hill for love nor money, and you try and you try and you try, and maybe you get a little bit further up, but then as soon as you take your foot off the brake or the gas, you just go right back down and you try again. That's where we're at with Newcastle right now. That's where we are stuck in the mud. We are stuck, and we make a little bit of progress, but then it just goes right back down. What we need to do is call a tow truck. Instead of keep on trying for hours and hours and hours and hours, call a tow truck. Call a tow truck.
And in this analogy, your tow truck is a new manager.
Is Eddie Howe. Yes. And also a lot of the look, we need to do a lot of things because I thought we were going to get beat today. And the goal that we scored was a nice set piece routine. It was fortunate that we got the goal off of Gehi. That's good, but no threat outside of that. And I said it in the WhatsApp chat, I'm pretty sure. Like, find me a game of professional football today where a team has 0 shots on target. I'll wait for that. And we're supposed to be a high level, or maybe not high level, but a decent Premier League team. Like, how is that? It just comes to a point where it's like, why are we defending what's going on? What is there to defend? What do we excel at? What? It's like I don't know this team anymore. And the team doesn't know what it is anymore. Because sometimes you wouldn't be good. The Arsenal or the Man City draw or Forest, particularly second half. But then you get today, you get Fulham, you get Bournemouth, you get other results like that. And it's just, what is there to defend anymore? And I don't know what to say anymore. Because like when they scored the goal, I wasn't even, obviously I'm upset, but like I wasn't,
surprised.
Going crazy. I wasn't surprised. I wasn't like irate. I was like, we had no right to get anything from that game. If you get 0 shots on target and you get a point, that's a miracle. That's what I
said. How can you score from not having a shot at goal? We're reliant on them scoring for us. That's how bad it is.
I cannot even remember half chances where it was like over the bar or this or that because we had 1 shot.
There wasn't. There wasn't. That's what I'm saying. You're creating absolutely nothing for any player, regardless of what position they are, to actually come in and score a goal for you. And when you've got that, when you're creating 0 chances, the chances of a loss are obviously a lot higher, and it's okay.
You're rolling the dice. You have you have no control over it because you're not. The hardest thing to do in football, and the reason why the strikers and forwards and creative midfielders get paid the most, they go for the highest transfer fees, is because the hardest thing to do in football is scoring goals. So if you can't get shots on target, You don't ever look. It's not even just because you can say, "Oh, you're just being a stats merchant." Did we ever look like having a shot on target? Did we have any dangerous moments? Half moments.
Not today. No, it was
Looks like
abysmal.
So
we've just lost Tiger. Sorry, Tiger, if you're waiting in the background, buddy. Try and get on in a second. It's on, Steve.
Guys, I just like again. I don't feel anything. It's like I'm speechless, quite honestly. Because again, if you have 0 shots on target and you're a professional football team, that's like as embarrassing as it gets.
The only thing I look at that I take any succor from at all
is a point.
The fact and that point means that we're just 4 points of second place. It's ridiculous, man.
But that just shows how average the league is.
It's a crazy league this year.
It shows how good the league is.
Or competitive, or however.
There's two ways of looking at that.
Yeah. But I would say more of on the average end because we've been playing below average for a lot of the season. And we're only, what did you say? 4 points off second?
Yeah.
Sorry,
we're 4 points off second.
Yeah, but some have still got to play, haven't they, tomorrow?
Yeah, Brighton have played and they are second. 13-23, we are 13-19.
Yeah. So I don't know, guys. I'm just like...
and I mean, just imagine that Brighton game, which we should have won. We should have won that comfortably.
How do you define that? Because I have a different spin on that. How do you define like should have?
Well, we're just
on the balance of play. You're saying?
Yeah, dominating them from start to finish. We had 16. What did we have? 18 shots on target. I think we had that day.
The Brighton game.
Yeah, 18-6 to their 15-3. I think from memory.
Right.
Let's just double check it.
I mean, it's immaterial now, but I think it proves the point when even when you're dominating.
I mean, those 3 points would have put us second. Same against Everton. You know, we dominated. We missed a penalty. Put 6 points on there, and we're comfortably second.
But at the same time, you can point to games like Wolves away that for 70 minutes should have been an L.
Yeah, absolutely. You know,
they had
worst both ways. He has to take it back.
Win. This is my problem. Even if we give us 6 points from some game, then on the flip side, you could take away 6 points from us in this game, whatever. This is the problem. So even if the only thing that's consistent about us is inconsistency.
That's so true.
Well, the only thing that's consistent about us this season is
not winning games.
Football.
Steve, thanks for your views, buddy. But obviously, we've got other players, other people in the background. Oh, he's gone again.
No, he's back, I think. Tiger, are you there?
No, he's just gone offline again. I've just seen it come up on the screen. I don't know what's happening with Tiger. I think he's having issues connecting. Yeah. But it is such a crazy thing. Let's have while we're just waiting, let's have a quick look at any starred ones win, and then we can move across to people coming on board.
Saying should have had more from the game. We looked the better side. Can't believe we left Munoz on the back post. Well, see, time 90. I know you're a glass half full like I am, but for to say that we look the better side today,
in what
I'm
aspect?
afraid.
In what aspect?
Yeah,
here's the only thing.
I would love to agree with you, but even I can't agree with you.
Here's the only thing we've done better than them today. Pope.
Yeah. I mean,
but then again, Henderson didn't have to do much.
Didn't have to do anything. I'm going to say. I mean, he looked all over the place. Henderson did.
When he did have that one thing to do, whoosh.
Yeah. But I mean, seriously, that's the only thing that we have done better than them today is the fact that Pope made 2 miraculous saves on either half. It was the one.
Hey, hang on! The gold stars are full of cheer. Here should have been 3, but it's an away point.
That's how low the that is how low our expectations are.
Yeah.
That is
Tonali grew into the
deeply
game and must
above.
start. No need for doom and gloom. Let's beat Liverpool. Gordon needs to step up. We've got Mukhtar saying, what is Eddie Howe's style? Sloppy on the ball, weak as hell in duels. Why are our players so technically poor? What does he do in training? They just run around and we seem off the ball team rather than on the ball. I think that's meant to be going there. Random access. I'm beginning to think he's done whatever happens. It's just a question of when. We'll get hammered against Liverpool. Haha, but this is typical Newcastle, isn't it? Smashing your head into a wall once is an accident. Repeatedly doing it is insane.
That is so true.
And Ronnie, what top manager will come knowing we have no money to spend? Millions of top managers will come.
I'm not even looking for a top man. For me, guys, I don't know if this is what you think of the game, but I look at it like this. There are managers and there are coaches. We're in an era now of coaches for me. Yes, certain managers can still excel or operate at somewhat of a high level, but get me a coach that's on the rise. Because that is what we liked so much about Eddie Howe at his appointment. That's what I did, certainly, because it was like, as a coach at Bournemouth, wow, what you did was
Steve.
Hello?
Yay, Tiger, can you hear us?
Oh, thank God. Yes.
Yay! We could see you going on and off, on and off, and on and off.
Tiger Studios, I take it.
Tiger.
Yeah, yes. I'm back.
You're back. Right then, mate.
Right, come on,
tell us everything.
Give me both barrels.
Another shit show. I've got one problem. I'll get onto Howe afterwards. You know what my feelings about Howe, right?
Yeah.
When Isak went off, we got two strikers on the bench, but he's put Gordon up top and he's brought Barnes on. I get it. Wilson's not ready, but he's experienced enough that you have to stick him on in a important match like this if we want to challenge for the Europe. Now, Asula, I feel sorry for Asula, by the way. I don't know why we signed him.
No, me.
You know, like, when is he going to get his chance? And this was a chance for him to come on and prove a point. Well, again, Howe with his subs, his tactics, it's so boring to watch now. Like, we run up the pitch, turn back, pass it back to Lewis Hall. He passes at the burn. He passes the other side, and then we do the same thing on the right side.
And we give it away in midfield, and they're on the break like animals.
Yeah, it's just and like Tonali was great. You could see he's on another level. I've said it for time. Like he is on another
He was getting
level.
so frustrated as well, wasn't he? At some points where players were just losing the ball, his arms are going up, saying, "Well, what you doing?" You know, it's shocking, really.
And just the rest are just Pope did some great saves today. He played well, but then
I couldn't fault Popey, to be fair.
But the thing is, what's frustrating about Pope? He pulls off brilliant saves. He should have saved that one at the end.
He should have. I agree with that. We haven't even come on to that yet.
This is what's so frustrating about it. Like, God. Another thing. I think we got to sell Bruno, man. I think I'm slowly getting fed up with him.
Didn't notice him today. Really?
Listen, if I could get 100 million for Bruno, I'd bite their hands off.
Yeah, like.
You'd be lucky to get 100. Listen, we don't forget he was out for sale when he was playing well for 100 million, and there was no takers. I don't think you're going to get 100 million for him now.
Well, that's the thing.
Sure.
I don't know. I think
starting to show his colours.
I just think like the captaincy is too much for him. I think it was the wrong decision because 2 seasons before, like he was playing amazing. Like now, since he's got the armband, it's just the shadow of the player that we saw.
He is.
But I think if we can get good money for him, sell him, build the team around Tonali. You know, my friend's an Arsenal fan. He's like, "Oh, Isak, you should sell Isak." But I was like, you can't sell Isak because he's one of the top strikers in the world. You know, and like if you're going to replace him, you're going to spend 100+ million. So
but here's the thing, though. I hear it with you're going to have to spend 100 million. That okay, so since Shearer, we bought players that cost more than Shearer at the time, and they've been not to the level of Shearer, but very good. We've had good strikers
Well,
throughout Newcastle United
Yeah.
history
Steve,
before and after Shearer for different fees. I hear it that like, yeah, sorry, I wouldn't go on.
here's the thing. You're saying we've bought players for more than Shearer. No, I haven't. When we bought Shearer, it was a world record transfer.
Yeah, that's the difference.
We have never bought anybody else for a world record transfer.
I'm talking
So
about I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just the price. So like Shearer didn't cost us. How much did we get for? How much did we buy Isak? 70.
Yeah, but I mean,
62?
you're talking 20 years
Right.
transfer inflation.
I'm saying
You
it in
know,
a literal.
what I'm saying is to compare
there's a-
buying another Shearer, you've got to talk about breaking the world transfer record.
Yes. Yes.
Because that's what we had to do to get Shearer.
Right. Right. But what I'm saying is that my overarching point is yes. If we wanted to get a so-called guarantee, which by the way there are none in football.
Correct.
There are none. You could buy. We've seen Barcelona the past few years spend ridiculous money on certain players and they don't pan out. Coutinho, Dembele, yada yada yada. Like you just have to scout. You have to scout well. So if we have to sell Isak, use that 100 million. Go find someone for whatever the price.
But the thing is, this is why we should keep Isak and sell Bruno for the money, because I see people like, oh, Isak does nothing throughout the game. Oh, he just goes missing. But you got to see, like, he's got no one behind him that's like creative enough to give him the balls. Like, we're missing like an Odegaard, like a David Silva. We need that kind of player.
Yeah.
And once he gets the service, he will score the goals, like 20 plus goals a season. And then everyone's going to be like, oh, Isak's world class. We should never sell him. Like, this is why we got to keep Isak at this club. And we need a creative midfielder. That's why. And how doesn't play with a creative midfielder? That's the problem.
No, you see, I kind of disagree with that. And all Tiger, surprise.
Oh,
I think what we need to do is we need to break the bank, go out, get Djokayev and
Gyökeres.
and play the two of them.
Yeah, no. Yes, I would love that. But if we didn't have that option, we have to keep Isak. That's the thing.
I think we'd probably get Gyökeres for the same money as we would get for Bruno.
Yeah.
And then we've still got whatever we had to buy a right winger, and then all of a sudden we're in business.
Yeah, but
I don't think we're in that Gyökeres conversation. He's going to go to a Man United. I'm not saying that I would take Gyökeres heartbeat. I watch him. I watch Sporting a lot for sweet. Like that guy is a very good player. I liked him at Coventry as well. Like, here's the thing though. I don't think we're going to. That's because here's the thing. Isak wasn't linked with. He was to an extent, but not like heavily with the Man United, Barca's, like the tier A kind of clubs. So it's tough with that. I would take Gyökeres. I just don't think we'll get him. I think we have to look for that again, player on the rise sort of thing. Because think about that, and Newcastle, we have a good history of that. Who was Demba Ba before we bought him? I'm not saying he was world class or amazing. He did a great job.
You didn't even buy him.
Freiburg job.
Yeah, he wasn't linked with the top clubs, but he done so well at Newcastle, that he got the move to Chelsea. So it's one of those where it's like you got to find those players at Freiburg, Sociedad, Lille, those kind of, and then you could be like, yo, we're Newcastle in the EPL, we're competing for Europe. This is a step up for you, kind of thing. With Gyökeres, I just think he's gonna go. I think he's gonna go to a tier A kind of club. But
I've got a question from John Mitchinson. Welcome, John. A question for the lads. How long will PIF give Howe to change things around? In my opinion, if things don't improve, he will be gone by Christmas.
I'll take him gone tonight.
Yeah. Well, like I say, it's not looking great.
He ain't lasting.
Geordie Dan.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Geordie Dan, thank you. If they sack Eddie Howe, who do we bring in? Jose? Oh, wait a minute. Go on, get him back up.
Get him back up. Yeah, for some unknown reason, they're not staying on very long. They seem to have changed. They used to be on for a while. You got it? I can get it really quick if you want.
Bottom
Yeah, there you go.
There
There.
we
I've
go.
got it. You,
Oh.
you put it on. You're taking it off, man. Come on.
I feel Jose's had his time. Then who? Not many out there, especially to take us to the next level.
I'm not
To
one.
me,
Sorry, go on, my bad. Go on.
as I've said a million times, for that allegedly not to be an alternative should not be a reason for hanging on to a manager who you're doing things doing the business.
It's like staying with a girlfriend or a partner relationship
right.
just because I won't get it. It's that kind of lot, yeah. And about the whole manager thing, guys, football is played around the world. There are people. Did anyone know Fabian besides a few people who watch German football who knew about Hutzele before he went to Brighton? Not many
Went to
people.
Brighton. Yeah, exactly.
There are top coaches. This is scouting. It's so important. So important. So I'm not worried about who do we get after Eddie Howe. Just scout.
It's crazy. Somebody's trying to come in on the background, and I can't.
Yeah, it's Amrit. He's just gone off again.
Is he gone? Tiger, is there anything else that you want to add?
Mate? You said you wanted to get onto Eddie.
Yeah, well, yeah, Eddie Howe, that's it.
Beat that dead horse.
Get him out tonight. Get him out.
Short and sweet. Eddie out.
Yeah.
Thanks for the memories.
Yeah,
you did say that.
Yeah. But no, listen, I'll always say thanks for the memories, but it's just time for change now. That's the thing. And he needs to go. So that's it. That's all I want to say for today.
Yeah. Okay, mate. Thanks for coming on.
All right. See you next time. Bye, guys.
See ya, buddy. Cheers, Tiger. Question from Foxy. Who's been the best right wing over the last 3 seasons? I've never witnessed anything so poor from an attacking sense these last 2 games. Good question, mate.
Well, I mean, statistically, you've got to say Murphy in terms of goals and assists and chances created. You know, he was top of the league, unbelievably, in the other 14 last season. So, you know, when you're competing with, if you take him out the equation, you're only left with really Zaha.
And Bomo's right wing.
Brembo, of course, he's been my number 1 target for 2 years now. But
really, really good player.
Hopefully Christmas. Let's see what else we've got in here.
Don't know whether anybody else is coming on board. We've lost Amrit because obviously he's having connection issues again in the car.
Should have had more from the game. Looked a better set. Oh no, that we've already had that one, which is strange.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to think he's done whatever happens. Ian Fleming, we will get hammered against Liverpool. I don't necessarily agree with that. We've done all of these, haven't we? What top manager will come? No. Liverpool are definitely not unbeatable. An open game at home suits us. Well, you could be right there.
Yeah, because our record against Liverpool since 2016 has been amazing.
Yeah. There you go. We're getting some echo there, Amrit.
Have you got your TV on, buddy? No, he always struggles with the he can't hear us. We can hear him.
One thing I noticed about EvMix, I think it only works on a laptop. Because I've tried to do it on my phone before and it just doesn't work.
Well,
it's weird.
We've had I'm just getting the text from.
Yeah, Vinny Banger here. This is an interesting one. Would you take Eric Ten Hag as a replacement for Eddie Howe?
Nope.
Shut up.
No, I'm sure I would, if I'm honest.
Nope.
It's. I mean, I can't.
It speaks volumes. He hasn't found a job since his sacking, and he won't.
I mean, he'll struggle now. I mean, unfortunately, you can look great in a poor league, and I've always said the Dutch league isn't a great league. And he took an Ajax team who played well. I mean, I couldn't fault them, but they didn't really do a lot in any of the big games, did they? And when he come to Man United, even though I thought Man U were a poor side, with all the money they've spent, I thought to be fair, I think he had more more of an issue with the players than he did with the actual team itself. So I'm not sure. He certainly wouldn't be a name that I would have in my
No.
collection of names. But when you're talking manager, everybody's saying, who would you bring in? Now, we all know PIF have got money
Yes.
and they can afford the compensation for anybody. But the thing is now is the fact that we've already had 3 years. We've already seen 2 windows of missed opportunity, if you like, of not freshening up the team. And I think that's what we're suffering with now. That's my opinion. I think, the biggest thing now is if they're not putting all of their hopes on Howe in the January transfer window with whatever budget we've got, and by all accounts, it's not a lot. What happens? Do we go through another transfer window, which will be the 3rd one, and stick until the summer transfer window before we decide what to do? Now, like I said, at this present moment in time, this team's going backwards. It's not going forwards. Now, there's a couple of things you can say. You can go with the flow and say, Eddie has to change tactic because it looks too easy. He's playing the wrong players in the wrong positions. That's also an easy one. But unfortunately for me, you've got to make a tactic that allows players to attack the box and create chances and shots on goal. At this present moment in time, this 4-3-3, that's the second game in a row, really, where we've not created enough
nothing
to win games. So
creativity
if
right
that
now
doesn't tell you,
zero.
if that doesn't tell you that there's an issue, then nothing in football ever will. So, like I said, and to me, like I said, Eddie has to change the formation. He has to change tactics. Glasner, there was 3 or 4 different changes to his side to try and get that equaliser today. And as poor as Crystal Palace were, and they were poor, it was more huff and puff than anything else that got them that leveller. And it was just a gamble from Glasner to go top heavy up the top with the system that he was playing. And unfortunately, like for me, why didn't he bring Lewis on for the last 5 minutes? Kelly, sorry, not Lewis. Just bring Lloyd Kelly on and shore up the back line. If we're not creating anything up front, just throw something at the back.
I think if he'd done that, I would have probably been further over towards the Eddie Howe brigade, because that's that's what he's been decried for in the past. That's exactly what he did against Milan, exactly what he did against Chelsea in the Carabao semi-final, exactly what he did against PSG. Well, not so much against PSG because they were kind of on top the whole game, but he tried to defend the lead. And
you're not creating anything, Win. You're not creating anything up top. You've got players.
That's the problem for me. The problem for me is Bruno and Tonali do not know what they're supposed to be doing. Are they supposed to be creative, or are they supposed to be CDMs? And until that gets sorted, now maybe here's the thing. Maybe they need to play together more, to get used to one another, and that could be the case. Try keeping them together for 4 or 5 games and see how it progresses. The problem with that is if during those 4 or 5 games, and this is where Eddie's thinking, if during those 4 or 5 games, whilst they get used to it and learn the system, whatever it may be, we end up losing umpteen points and he's out of a job. So is he going to take that risk? Probably not.
That's why I'm saying when we are literally stuck on
very, very good analogy. Very good analogy.
Because if we lack balance, in this team, this squad.
Absolutely.
Overall, this is the problem. Because if you try to get more forward, you most likely won't, and then you're going to be conceding more. But then if you try to go more defensive,
well, that's what we did last season.
Absolutely nothing going forward, and then we see what happens today. You concede late. Yeah. So this is the thing. Like we are stuck. We are completely stuck.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks all over the shop, mate. To be fair, we just don't look a unit at all. Like I say, it doesn't matter how many days you have together training. If you look disjointed on a field of play, then you've either chosen the wrong players to suit the system that you want to play, but who do you pick? Because you choose a tactic around your player, or you buy players to suit the tactic that's already in situ. And at this present moment in time, we don't look as though we've got either. We don't look like we've got a tactic that works, and we certainly don't look like we've got a selection of players that fit that tactic that Eddie's training week in, week out. And like I say, it's not a one-off. This has been going on for some time now.
Ray's on about Gordon there. Gordon was like they said Everton had a decent season, then went off the boil. That's when the Everton fans turned against him. And I think the fact that probably our two best players last season, who were Bruno and Gordon, have had mediocre seasons, to say the very least, this season, is a huge part in why we are struggling the way we are. Didn't deserve to win today. The stats were atrocious. I think Eddie's time is up. Tonali, the best of a bad. I don't know about Tonali being the best of a bad bunch, but though Bruno G was awful, as was JS7, Barnes and Gordon. Well, I think JS7 for me was probably the second best player.
Yeah, Foxy saying he's glad you said Murphy because he said the answer is Miggy on stats and he hasn't even played this season.
And he's the worst right winger in this league.
No, but last season, in the other 14, Murphy was top in chances created.
Wow.
And that's what we're not doing at the minute, creating chances.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see Adnan Ali saying Barnes gets moved, Joe Linton gets moved, but Longstaff does not, and he's back in the squad. Now, like I said, to be fair, Longstaff come on, and I hardly seen him get involved.
Did he do anything good? Didn't do anything bad?
No, that's what I said. It's mediocre. Yeah, it's just mediocre. It's like I'm going to put it's like I said, for me, and I'll go back to what I've just said. So what was the difference of bringing Longstaff in? And if Kelly had come on, when they went 4 up top, we got 4 defenders. So you're having to move your midfield to support the back 4. So why not just bring in a defender and just say, I'm going to lose one of my midfielders anyway, but it just shows, it gives me a man extra. And then, I mean, I'm not saying it would have still not conceded that goal because, again, if you switch off, you can concede a goal from anywhere. But it's just a simple tactic rather than throw it on another midfielder when, in actual fact, the midfield's being overrun anyway most of the time. You're scrapping for balls. You're not technically better than anybody else. It's a case of, yes, you can play a ball through, but it's a scrap rather than... So you need fighters on the field, somebody who's willing to go. Bring J7 back into the middle of the park. Leave him out on the bloody wing. You're just losing a player. Just bring him back into the middle of the park and go narrow. It's very difficult for teams to get through you. We saw that with them. We didn't have a shot on goal on target because they went very narrow with the 3 and used wing backs as a cover for our wingers. It's football is so bloody simple. Yeah. It's just made to look hard.
To blame Tonali for today is just worrying about his boy Longstaff. I'm not worried. I didn't see Tonali had a bad game at all. I wanted Tonali to start today, along with everybody else. But again, we've proved when the 3 of them do start, it doesn't work. For whatever reason, it doesn't work. It didn't work today, and it hasn't worked in the past.
I got a question for you guys. For the right wing, okay? And right back as well. Because Tino, for me, he's trying. But, like, I'm noticing, like, the effort hasn't dropped from Tino and a certain level. But in terms of, like, wow moments or wow, like an X factor that he brings, I'm not seeing that really. It's waning, just like the rest of the team. And if we're having a right wing problem as well, throw Tino right wing and Trippier right back.
Yeah, the trouble is with
work, but what do you guys think of that?
Well, the biggest problem you have with Tino is he's got no delivery. If you look at Tino's final third efforts, it's a lot of it is just balls into the box, and it's like a case of crosses, exactly. Get on the end of that if you can, and people will say, well, we scored off Tino's cross for England when Gordon got on the end of it, but that was just poor defensive, and I suppose a bit of luck because it deflected. And today, he looked at it a couple of times when he crossed the ball. He went into the space that nobody was there. So again, he's not looking, he's not seeing. Can I just put the ball into the box now, or do I need to hold it up and wait for somebody to come in? And that to me is our biggest struggle. I often said, I said the first few minutes it looked really good because at the start of the game it looked like we were trying to get bodies into the box, and even if crosses do come in, then you've got bodies to actually fight for the ball.
Palace are looking a bit loose. Yeah,
absolutely. And I said, Chalobah on that left-hand side, their right back, if you like, the right of three, every time you isolate him, because Munoz or Mitchell had gone forward, you isolate him and he looked all over the shop. And again, you're thinking to yourself, well, why don't you just go down that line and say, right, okay, guys, overload it. Really try and tighten them up. It'll stop them from attacking wing-backs to go forward. When we just sit back and wait, they go 5 at the back. It just closes the lanes down altogether. So again, they just defend the edge of the box. Have the ball where you want it down there, Newcastle. You're not going to hurt us at all there. And it was a little bit dodgy, to be fair. It was just poor across the line because there doesn't seem to be anything coming in. Amrit, you're in. No. Just talk.
Talk. Go for it.
Talk. Nothing. He's saying nothing, Win. Can you hear us? Put your thumb up if you can hear us. Oh, no. He's gone. He's having major problems. I don't know what it is. Certain individuals just seem to struggle with getting on board. They come on and then they can't hear, or they can't hear us, or we can't hear them. It's just crazy. Tonali, the man of the match for us, Win. He did a lot today. Bruno didn't. So that's from trolls. I'm not saying he was. I don't think he was man of the match performance for me. He did good. There was some really good work for me.
I'm just looking at the scoreline here. Arsenal are beating West Ham 4-0.
No, Saka just scored 4-1. I might be ahead of you.
Right.
Crazy.
But I'm looking at the passing lanes here for us, and you can see
passing lanes.
you can see quite comfortably where we are struggling. And it's simple in here. And the setup on this is just crazy when you look at it. With our top player, you've got two people close together. And I think that's where Eddie's gone wrong. Now, obviously, there was a slight change with Gordon coming centrally. So you've got Gordon and Isak literally side by side. You've got Willock and Joe Linton side by side. Nothing central. Everything going out slightly right and slightly left because of the formation and everything else. So, yeah, Bear saying, I agree, Amrit. Yeah. Nothing to be said there, lad. And that's where I look at when I look at the passing lanes and I see where they're trying to get into. If you've got nothing in the box or nothing centrally, where's your chance creation? You're never going to get it. It's simple. It really is simple. I'm just looking at anything else.
Have a look at these.
Lads can't get in. Yeah, go on.
But Eddie needs to have Tonali centre, Bruno right, consistently. None of this Longstaff experiment anymore. Tonali was banned, but he has been on the training pitch with Bruno for over 15 months. It should be sorted by now. Agreed? You bring Tonali in when you sell Bruno. You don't bring him in to play with Bruno. I said last season that a midfield three with J7 will not work. I feel sorry for Tonali, to be honest. You're really blaming Tonali, the man of the match for us, Win.
Yeah.
Why he did a lot today, Bruno didn't. Bruno was dogs today, and Tonali was okay. He wasn't man of the match by a long way. For me.
Could I ask you a question real quick? What did you guys think of our center backs? Sharon.
Burn was
everything in the air. Everything in the air. Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Got it. I'm there.
Whereas
I've looked in trouble.
Shea doesn't win anything in the air.
I mean, you look at Hull today against Saar. I mean, Hull. Every time they looked, they went man for man with leaving Shaw as the one that was exposed. Tino would always pick up. I can't remember his name now. The other lad, not Devaney. Eze. Yeah, well done. I forget his bloody name. Simple one as that. Tino picked up Eze. Hall picked up Saar. And you always got that spare man at the back with Byrne alongside Mateta. And it was a great tactic. Never looked in any trouble at all. There was a couple of times, though, and this is what I was saying to lads that just run. And this is where people sometimes you get laughed at. You saw when we did give them an opportunity at the back part. Well, when Saar eventually got free, and it was a pass from Gay, I think it was, through to Saar, and all you got there was Mateta move. And because Byrne was on our left-sided centre-back, as always, he moves to the right-sided centre-back to double up with Shaw, leaves the lad at the back post, Saar. Bloody hell, there's too many closes, Saar and Shaw. Free with a chance of getting a goal for them. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes movement will open up any defence. We just don't have enough movement up front at all. With two parallel lines. Yeah. Your two parallel lines.
Brandt's hitting the nail on the head here. Our three best performers last year, arguably, Bruno, Gordon and Isaac, have all fallen flat for the most part this season. And they have. They haven't been a shadow of what they were last season.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Can't get in again because of shite streaming program. Anyway, Nick Pope at fault today.
All right. Listen, here's the thing. I agree about the goal. I agree about that. Should be doing better there. However, he also made 2 or 3 miracle saves that are. I'm sure if you did the XG or what, I'm not even an XG guy, but if you wanted to look at that, they're pretty high. So here's the thing: no matter what, we are conceding today based off the balance of play. It's not a guarantee, but the odds are not in our favor. Yeah. As a goalkeeper, you can only do so much when you are tested so much. Prime example was Onana last year for Manchester United in goal. He made some horrific mistakes. So, let in a few goals, but look at how many shots they were facing in Europe, in the league or the cup or whatever, against great teams, good teams, average. He was going to make them. So this is the thing. The more your goalkeeper has to do, the more likely it is that they make a mistake just off the law of averages kind of thing. Blaming Pope for today is leads to my problems.
I think, like I say, we're
XG today was 1.29 for Palace, 0.02 for Newcastle.
Jesus.
0.02.
Can anyone remember the shot we had?
There wasn't one.
No, we had one. No. I'm not talking on target. We had one shot.
No, it wasn't. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't a shot.
One shot. Total shots, 1. On target, 0.
That's what I said. It was a cross from Gordon that was deflected in from Gay.
I'm not talking about the goal. We had a shot today, allegedly. Statistically, it says we had a shot. Does anyone remember it?
Where? I can't even remember anything.
According to Footmob, it was from the corner of our right. We're attacking down the right, and the shot was from the corner of the 6-yard box.
Which half? Right. Say which half?
The right-hand corner of the shot box. No, I can't find that.
SofaScore will tell me. Hold on, let me find that.
Crazy, mate. Absolutely crazy. Like I say, I'm trying to find all of these information, and I'm like, what? That is ridiculous.
The header from Joelinton.
Joy Linton.
Header from Joelinton. In the 43rd minute.
Yeah. So that was it.
Yeah.
They classed that as a shot on target.
No, they classed. No. There's shots.
Shot, but not on target.
Shot is obviously if you shoot it and it goes over the bar, that's a shot On target means obviously goalkeeper.
Yeah. So it was a header over the bar, basically.
No, it got blocked.
I'm going to say it's that's what I said. It didn't even get anywhere near the goal, mate. That's what I'm saying. It's that's why I don't look at statistics that much when it comes to shots and stuff like that, because it's like boxing. You've got three judges round the ring, and one of them will say you've got a punch that scores. The other two say it doesn't. So how can somebody sitting in a room saying that was a shot at goal when it probably just a header towards the danger area type of thing?
Yeah.
Because I certainly didn't call it anything while I was watching the live game. Hence, I couldn't remember
even
it.
remember it.
No, exactly.
There we go. It was nice of Gee to score for us today, anyway. The
Yeah,
lad still wants
that's
to
right.
be at the Toon.
That's right. Must admit, I don't think there's beer saying. I'm not going to read that out. Dan Byrne had another shit show. He's getting praised for the block, but he played him onside. Hurt his own teammates. Nowhere for the goal. Nowhere for the big chance at the first half. Misplaced. A back pass under no pressure. Tonali hands down a player of the match for us. That was flatulence. We had nothing in the final third. Who would take 100 million for Bruno now? Yeah, well, that's
Well, I
a
would
good
take
one.
it. It's a question of who would pay it.
I don't think much would. For God's sake, the problem is out of his depth and tactically inept. He's mid to low half manager, and best players are fed up and bored. Anyone with eyes can see it, says Lawrence Gill.
It's just a matter of it. Again, you can look at it in like a relationship aspect. You're with your partner for maybe you got with them during a time where you guys really it worked. It was great for both of you. But then after 2 years, 3 years, just fades out. And this is the thing. And then in professional sports, it's obviously it's not like a relationship. It's ruthless. It's you're this is a lot of money on the line. There's a lot of people's careers on the line, legacies, trophies, all this stuff, and you just gotta make changes when otherwise you're just gonna get left behind.
Yeah. Darren Bailey saying it's time, lads. Eddie out. So yeah, 1 point from two
Here's the thing,
is the
Tanya's
worst in
saying Man
twos.
City will be coming for Bruno in January, given their circumstances with having
Maybe
Rodri out. And the other one team that we know Pep loves him.
yeah.
And actually, wouldn't he shine in a Man City team?
Yes.
Well, that's quite a nice little stat. David T's put 2 Brazilian internationals, Italian international, 3 current England internationals, throw in Pope, and that's 8 on the pitch and no shots. Criminal.
Yeah. There you have it.
Quite a good
Yeah,
shout. That one.
the other thing, and I know we were talking about it earlier, but I just got to make this clear. Clearly, Eddie Howe does not trust Callum Wilson's body, and he doesn't trust William Osula's talent.
Affect, yeah, exactly. He's not going to affect the game, but that's not the point. If you're gonna go like for like and keep the shape of a team, because we lost a lot of momentum when they made that change. So for me, you could say to Osula, now listen, I do need to give Callum Wilson a shout.
Yeah.
So go on, make yourself a nuisance for 30 minutes, but I may have to bring you back off. That's got nothing to do with you. I just want to go like for like in positions. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And you know, as a player, if that was talk and spoken to you about, then go for it. Go and get some minutes under
as
your
I've
belt.
said numerous times now, my one unerring criticism of Eddie, time after time after time, has been his substitutions in his game, his in-game management. And I was hoping that he would learn and improve on that to go along with it, what are obviously his brilliant people skills and coaching.
Right.
But maybe Eddie's forte is bringing the best, and improving players. But once players are already there, which is effectively what he's got now, borne out by that statistic, 2 Brazilian internationals, Italian international, 3 current, when they're at that level, what has he got to bring to the table?
You hit your head on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think there's a phrase we use in the States for coaches in pro sports. We call them program elevators. You can take it college football, whatever sport you want to do. It's a guy that will step in if you are a really bad team. He'll take you as a coach, give him a player here, player there, build for a year, and you'll be from a terrible team to a competitive one. You'll punch above your weight. But then as soon as you get figured out, that's when the next guy steps in to take it more steps forward. Yeah. Eddie Howe is a program elevator because that's what we were in a horrible state when he stepped in. Obviously the PIF took over, and he's got us to a level that we hadn't seen Champions League obviously in 20 years and great results against certain teams at home and all this stuff. But once that fizzles out, once he doesn't have solutions anymore, this is this is his limitations. And now what and another time he did it was at Bournemouth. Bournemouth were in League Two, about to get relegated. They had a huge, and he's a program elevator. They got to the Premier League and almost made Europe in 16, 17. But then they eventually got relegated under Howe. He is a program elevator, but you need to recognize when the elevator stops, really. That's what it is. And now we need a guy that's what it is. Some people just have a hard time.
We're probably now needing a coach who is used to working with, and I hesitate using the word, elite footballers. But when you've got two Brazilian internationals, an Italian international, and 3 current England internationals, that's what you're talking about. Top quality players. And Eddie Howe isn't used to working with a team full of top quality players. We know that. He's used to getting the best
out of League Two Bournemouth
mediocre players.
Anyway, unfortunately, boys, I am going to have to call it a day because we've gone on a lot now because we've also had the first half that for some unknown reason was cut short. I don't know what happened there. So this is the second take of it. Stevie, thank you ever so much. Thanks to no problem. Thanks to everybody else that came on. It was really good to listen to you. I can't remember who it was now. Dom, Tiger, Lewis. Who else was it that came on? Stevie. Obviously, we tried to get Amrit, but he couldn't get through. But again, like I say, this shows obviously for the viewer and your views to us is what matters. So thank you all for giving us your thoughts. And in the chat, if anybody's
hasn't happened yet, you get in on the forum and let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. If there was a problem, we'll have a look. And obviously, Chris is, I believe, driving back home after his partying week. That's why he's not being involved in the chat long. But I'm sure you will hear it when he's back home. I'm sure he'll be online throwing a video somewhere. But until the next time, guys, thank you so much for watching out there. And we'll be on doing the player scores at some point tomorrow night, I would imagine. So look forward to that. Again, catch you later. Thanks for watching. Cheers for now.
How are the lads?